Over the past several days, we've looked at America's broken child care system and some of the programs trying to address the challenges. In this final part of our series, Raising the Future, America's Child Care Dilemma, special correspondent Kat Wise and producer Kate McMahon examine a key question confronting the country: what now?
It's the busy lunchtime hour at Seinert's Bakery and Barak Cafe in downtown McCook, Nebraska. The man behind the counter is Matt Seinert.
In our figure eights, very popular.
He's a fourth-generation baker who won a James Beard Award a few years ago.
This is a family tradition.
Seinert says there are a lot of ingredients needed to run a successful business. And for him, reliable workers are key.
Buy three, get three, okay?
He has about 30 employees, and over the years, some of his staff have had to quit due to childcare challenges.
Our people have to be here to make the product. They have to be here on time every day to make the product because our patrons expect rolls and donuts and breads and sandwiches to be here. And when there's not adequate child care, it causes problems.
Seinert is one of the many Americans who've been impacted in some way by the country's patchwork childcare system, which cost the overall economy an estimated $57 billion a year before the pandemic.
I am a registered Republican. As a business person, my mind goes to investment, and I think that childcare is an investment. Obviously, from the parent, that needs to be part of it, but maybe the rest of us need to be part of it too.
Should the rest of us chip in for childcare? What would a national childcare system look like? In the wake of the pandemic, those are some of the many questions being discussed and debated across the country in homes, boardrooms, and Washington, D.C.
Countries in the world.
President Joe Biden's message: childcare is as essential to the national economy as bridges and roads.
American Families Plan will provide access to quality, affordable childcare.
He is pushing for sweeping reforms that include free childcare for low-income parents, reduced fees for middle-income earners, a $15 minimum wage for providers, universal preschool for 3- and 4-year-olds, and paid family leave. The U.S. is the only industrialized country that does not have a national paid leave policy. It's an issue we heard from parents about, including childcare advocate and author Elliot Haspel.
I believe very strongly that the first few months of life all parents have the opportunity to have paid family leave to be with their child.
During her confirmation hearing, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said the U.S. is falling behind other countries.
Where we stand out is that the United States does much less on the front of child care and paid leave than most other developed economies.
The U.S. ranks 35th out of 37 wealthy peer nations in percent of gross domestic product spent on early childhood programs. Iceland spends the most, nearly 2% of its GDP, but the U.S. spends less than half a percentage point. To boost the ratings, it will take a big investment. According to one report, it would cost $140 billion a year to provide high-quality care for all kids from birth to 5.
No group of Democrats is urging President Biden to go big and help lower the cost of child care.
In this era of hyper-partisanship, child care reform has become another hot-button issue on cable news.
Well, our next guest says it wages a culture war against normal people.
And local news.
Any bill that makes it easier or more convenient for mothers to come out of the home and let somebody else raise their child, I just don't think that's a good direction for us to be going.
And as we traveled across America from Oregon to Nebraska, Mississippi to the nation's capital, we heard a lot of different opinions when we asked, what now?
We already paying enough taxes. However, if they use the money that they're already collecting to help parents, it would be great.
Child care, even when a person starts making a living wage, it shouldn't be taken away from them.
And I think that child care should be free.
You want me to carry you?
How will America work through its child care dilemma?
Okay.
This may be the moment the nation decides. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Kat Wise.